Hello and welcome to Won't Be Forgetting That, a podcast talking about all of the most embarrassing and awkward moments of people working in the arts and entertainment industry. I'm your podcast host, Seb Muirhead, and today we have a guest. They are a comedian, a writer, a hacktor, Sam Garlepp.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, mates. We made it in the end.
Yes, thanks.
A little peek behind the curtain here. Sam may or may not have turned up to the wrong address.
Yes. Well, speaking of embarrassing moments in the industry, you talk about wrong place, wrong time, right place, right time. I was in the wrong place. I was at the wrong time.
Possibly the former of those bunch there.
Oh, yes.
You're actually the second person to turn up to the wrong address as
really?
well. Yep.
Okay, good.
Sally Cheng, the first guest of the podcast, the entirely first guest, came to my house when we said we'd do it at hers. So we were both standing at each other's front doors at exactly the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there we go.
No, won't reveal too much about where you are, but
please to God, I'm not. Oh fuck no! Cut this.
I put the unit number or so instead of the address. Got done with that Google Maps thing. They send you the complete opposite side of the street. I was turned up outside a warehouse and I thought, oh wow, very industrial.
I've definitely hired out an entire warehouse. My entire studio is in there, and we're not in the spare bedroom of my house just now.
No, not at all. But I thought, maybe Seb's like one of those real actors that lives in an abandoned warehouse in like a commune,
cosmopolitan freak from Rent, the musical or something like that.
I thought it was gonna be very bohemian. I'll turn up. You're in an open kimono or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in a quadruple as well. We all live and share the same space. They're all just sitting over there in their drum circle watching us do this podcast.
Yes, but
I'm a very boring person. I live a very boring life. Sorry.
That much is clear. No, I'm kidding. No, you don't know, because in the studio I'm seeing some sports medals.
Yeah, they're from my past life when I used to compete in martial arts. Now I just pretend to do martial arts and get paid way more on camera for it. So.
Wow. Oh, great. What kind of martial arts?
So those medals... No, you're quite all right. No, this is making me sound great, actually. Those medals are for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I competed in that for a little while. Now I just do stunt acting instead. So I just get beaten up by people that are far more famous and better looking than me. Which I would, honestly, if you wanted to pick a career in either martial arts or pretend martial arts, pretend ones pay way better.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're just good at falling down and
pretending to take a punch.
Oh, great.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Looking really shocked for a second, then getting shot by a CGI arrow, all that kind of stuff.
That would be tough. The CGI arrows.
Yeah, well, it's better than real arrows from my own experience. Yeah. But then you also kind of have to choose this. I don't want to talk about myself too much.
I do.
Very quickly. Past gig I did, they were like, yeah, you get shot by an arrow in this. Where do you want to get shot? And I was like, the heart. And he's like, okay. And he just comes up, the VFX artist guy comes up with all these mad balls and color plates and just puts it in front of my heart. And he's like, okay, cool. And I was like, okay, is it that easy? And then I watched the final product and it is that easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had some friends who were like, so did they put the arrow on a wire? I was like, nah, mate, that's all fake. It's all fucking Hollywood magic.
Yeah, no, you should have said, it's like a rubber end, but it really hurts still.
Yeah, I had like a metal chest plate and they just shot me with a real arrow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because my dad used to karate. And,
nice, the classic.
Yeah, so he's got the black belt. And he's got, I don't know, some people get very important things tattooed on them. Like, some families will or people will get family tattooed on them, or
possibly their son's name.
Their son's name. No, my dad is a karate black belt.
That's cool. Is it a full size one around his waist? I would love to see that.
That would be good. No, it's just on his ankle.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a tramp stamp. No,
that's beautiful.
I know. So kind of that's what, and I know where I stand with it. He's also got. He's got 4 kids, so didn't want to get us tattooed.
No, that's too many. Well, you get one black belt in your life. You have as many kids as you want.
Yeah. But he's also got a tattoo of a scuba diver because he was into scuba diving for like 5 years.
Oh, but not anymore?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
I can't make fun of him, though. He'll beat me up. He knows karate.
Beat you up and then drown you as well, yeah. But yeah, maybe if you make it famous enough, You can get
That's
little,
it. Yeah,
Sam
yeah.
the
For
bottom
sure.
of his foot or something like that.
Yeah.
But I do have to say as well, thank you very much for coming on just now.
Oh, no worries.
Right in the middle of your run for the comedy festival.
Yes.
So anybody that's not in Melbourne, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival is on at time of recording. So
Yes, it is.
how are you doing? You all right? You lost your mind yet?
A little bit. I'm halfway through my run now. So
Yeah.
I'm just doing the half run. So
Just the
14
half run, yeah. Just
14 nights in a row.
harrowing nights, yeah.
So I've done 7 and got 7 to go.
Yeah,
And,
beautiful.
it's going really well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's so good.
Classic. I think the first night of any show, the preview night,
Yep.
as well as we call it, was a bit shaky, I reckon, on my part.
Yep.
Just wasn't as confident in the.
It's always the way, though, isn't it? You get it out of the way and
Yeah.
you've got a million things to build on. But
Yeah.
as long as you turn up and do it, I think
yeah.
that's the biggest part of it.
And then literally, I think, there was bits that, maybe were a bit handbrakes in the show that maybe didn't work.
Yep.
Bits, and then you take them out the next day, and then it was awesome from the second night on.
That's the best fucking show in the
I know.
comedy
And then
festival.
the people that came to the first night, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, as in
Please
they were
come
like-
back,
Like,
please.
they all enjoyed it. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, loved it, great stuff. But then I'm like, I'd almost pay you to come back and see it.
I know.
In the other.
I
Does this
know.
happen?
So I do theatre a little bit
yeah.
as well, and like it's by no means as harrowing as stand up. I think like stand up, it's all your own material. It's just you. In theatre, you can kind of just prance around the stage and be like, woo.
Yeah. And if you're a character, you're like, I don't care. I'm a character.
Yeah, exactly. And then if
yeah.
somebody's like, "That's not funny," you're like, someone else wrote that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like that part either. Yeah, fuck them. No,
Exactly. Yeah, people come to stand up. They're like, I personally don't like you.
but yeah, like they'll come up and tell you afterwards sometimes.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I've had
Also-
a few friends that do stand up, and
Yeah.
they always tell me that people are very open and honest with their feedback. Usually,
Yeah, they often they'll either tell you after. Sometimes they don't wait. They just tell you during.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, for any listener out there as well, do you like that? Do you like it when people just randomly shout out in the middle of your set some horrible things as well?
That's the thing. Well, when we're speaking of the podcast about embarrassing moments
Yeah.
that happen in the industry, like all I need to point to is the last 24 to 48 hours.
I mean, got some fresh stories to we?
Well, firstly, I'm embarrassed about coming at the wrong time and
wrong house
and the
as
wrong
well.
house. Yeah. So that's one thing. Last night I had my friend's mum in the audience.
Oh.
Which is fine. And I also had my girlfriend's whole family in the audience. And
I like how your friend's mum was more important than girlfriend's entire family. That was the first mention there.
Well, not more important in the context of the story because I had never met her.
Oh.
But she sat in like the third row, right in the middle, and within a few seconds, I said a joke, and she goes, "No,
Wow.
nah," because I think I either mentioned. I mean, this makes it sound like my stand-up's very dated or something. I think I mentioned ScoMo or.
Oh, okay.
So and also it's not very political either. I think I mentioned him once.
Yeah.
But she goes, nah. I'm like, just okay. You just don't like it. I was like,
ScoMo doesn't like the mention of like a joke against him.
yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm like, if you realize I'm actually setting this up to be a joke against him.
Yeah.
So it was just funny that then later on she's like, yeah, nah. She was just live reviewing the show.
Has she been to comedy? I don't want to
think
speak
so.
disparagingly of your friend's mum as well.
Because my friend was there sitting separately, and then
Just across the room from her.
Yeah, I think he knew what was going to. So he had it in his hands. And something.
Wow.
So because I actually love interacting with the crowd.
Yeah, of course.
I usually throw to the crowd quite a bit, or I'll when people ask anything, and I actually rarely do the "What do you do for work?" I'm steer clear
the
of that.
absolute classic.
Yes. I do, but I have different points in the show where I'll ask people's opinions, and so I love it when people chime in then. And but when people heckle at the very random times,
especially when it really fucks up a joke as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But did she continue heckling, or did she?
I can't remember exactly what I said, but because I think I addressed her, and then I was like, all right, well, just pipe down. Not
Mrs.
pipe down.
So-and-so, it's lovely to meet you, but please shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a go-to for this show. Is because at some point I do a bit about my girlfriend is a snoozer. Like she snoozes her alarm.
Oh, that is
stressful.
Whereas
I'm a one alarm and I'm up straight away.
Oh, me too. I'm up 10 minutes. I've got such bad anxiety. I wake up 10 minutes before the alarm and I'll be like, I've got another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I've got another 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Another 8 minutes. I'm just going to get up. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Mel, she sets 15 alarms, never gets up.
I wish I lived like that sometimes.
know.
That seems like such a better life.
I know, like, and she sleeps so deeply that she doesn't even hardly notice them go off. Like 5:30 a.m. her first alarm goes off.
Yeah, right.
Because she thinks she's a CEO or something.
But of course, you get up, you have your green juice, you go for a 10-mile run. Yeah.
But then it ends up, I'll wake up at 7 sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's one alarm and I'm out and she's still in bed snoozing.
Yeah,
so
right.
2 out, but I'm awake the whole time.
That seems like, of course.
I'm there awake.
Of course, yes. See,
And-
that's even worse then for you. Yeah.
She's like, how did you get up straight away? I'm like, I didn't. I've heard 15 alarms.
Is this a really vicarious way of just telling her to stop setting so many alarms?
Yeah, I basically, I did this whole show. But then basically, because we're talking about snoozing and all that, and that's fairly near the, not to spoil whoever's going to come to the show, but that's fairly near the top of the show. So then later, if I have a few hecklers or whatever, I can just, I think my go-to has been a bit of like I'm just going to hit the snooze button on that. You know, and like I'll address them and go,
5 minutes.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, chime back in another 9 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Even worse than hecklers, I think, is when people just talk to each other during the show. That's actually
such a pet peeve.
You have that in theatre, you have that in wherever.
Even just in the cinema as well now.
Oh my God.
I love going to the cinema by myself. I'm a bloody cinephile. The only file I am. But yes. Okay, I'm going to fully remove that whole part there. Yeah. If I cut all of that so cleanly. I like films. But I love going to the cinema by myself. And without giving away where I live quite close to an independent cinema. So I'll just wander around there sometimes at night and go and see a film by myself. And there'll be like 7 people in the cinema. And there's always a couple of people just having a good old natter up the back. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I want to watch John Wick 4 without hearing any of this. But yeah.
Because with John Wick 4, you don't want to miss anything.
No, it's such a dialogue heavy.
Yes,
I want to know who the good guy, who the bad guys are. Is he going to live?
Exactly. They don't make it clear. Yeah.
No. But during stand-up, like if you're obviously telling a joke, you can hear that clearly, right?
Yeah, especially like, you know, not to not big myself up, but my rooms aren't, I'm not in a 400 person theatre.
A little humble brag right here.
I'm in a little bit of a smaller room. So if you're in the second row and you're just chatting to your mate next to you, I can hear that.
Hear that and see them clearly as well.
Hear it, see them go, and I'm like, oh, what are you guys talking about? They're like, oh, we're not. I'm like, we're actually very close together. Yeah. We're actually about 80 centimeters apart. I know it seems like I'm on this stage, but we're so close. We're closer than you and I are right now.
Yeah, and we're sitting at the opposite end of a warehouse. Yeah. So. But yeah, I was at a show yesterday at time of recording, and like some of these comedy festival rooms are so small. I had my feet touching the stage.
Yeah.
And I was so close, and it's like I love the show, but you're just like crotch level.
Yeah, I do feel bad for
bit unfortunate.
The front rowers.
Yeah, but like it's great to see comedy festival stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything you do. I was awkward just even trying to like reposition myself because the chairs are never comfortable.
No,
never comfortable. Yeah. Anyone that owns a venue, just get nice chairs.
I honestly think there's, because I do stand up and I work on a few television shows. I write and research for The Cheap Seats, which is on Channel 10, and The 100 with Andy Lee on Channel 9. And I'll talk about the latter maybe. Or you know what? I'll talk about none of them. I'll talk about them both generally.
Beautiful. I'll edit both of those ones out. So possibly a Channel 9 and a Channel 10 show.
Yes, and I think there's a bit of psychology behind even the seats for the audience.
Right, really?
Because and the temperature in the studio, because you don't.
Okay, so it's always cold, right?
Always cold.
Yep.
Always cold.
People awake.
Exactly, and same with chairs.
Yeah, right.
If you have a really comfy chair, you settle in, you relax.
You start snoozing.
You start snoozing.
Yeah.
So literally, I think part of it is you don't want them on a. It's probably for cheapness as well. Yeah, to be honest. But they're like, if the chairs are uncomfortable and people are kind of piled in together, then you're alert.
Yeah, right.
Whereas if you're sagging back, and they don't put people on couches, because then you'll.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. As somebody that gets kicked over in the dirt for a living, my back's not always the best.
Yeah.
So the occasional nice seat is appreciated. Yeah. But yeah, that is fair enough. I went to Adelaide Fringe. Oh God, when was that? Like maybe 3 weeks ago now. Whenever it was, and I went to go and see a show there. I won't mention any names or anything like that. But
go on.
I am nothing against the show. The show is not for me or for a lot of the audience members, apparently. But the most uncomfortable chairs in the world, I almost fell asleep.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was directly in the eye line of someone that just fully snoozing. Woke up checked his Apple Watch because like it's dark in the place, so obviously the Apple Watch lights up.
Oh no! Yeah.
Had a look, arms crossed, back to snooze.
Wow. Well, you know what? I almost respect that he decided to just snooze rather than getting up and going.
It was not the easiest venue to leave.
Right.
Yes.
And probably maybe the worst thing would be being addressed by the
absolutely. Yeah. And it's not like stand-up. You can't sort of just be like, hey, this person's going to take a piss.
Oh, okay. It was a different kind of
show.
Yes.
So they can't.
Yeah. And I'm just going to flow into other...
Please do.
It was funny because when you sent off a bit of a description of the show.
Yep.
You did say, now, look, some embarrassing moments. Those moments that I think you said you don't want to lie awake thinking about them anymore, so you get it out.
Yeah. Now, this is like an exorcism. Like you just put it out. Hopefully, it stops waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning and be like, oh fuck! Oh, remember that time I accidentally said the wrong word to that really important person?
So the funny thing is, last night and I thought I don't think I have that many of those. And I was lying in bed last night going. And then they all just started coming back to me. This is the opposite. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I did that. I forgot this happened.
I've had this problem a few times as well. The guest just before this, but who is next week's guest.
Gotcha.
So we've already recorded that. Will Jones, very, very good stunt actor. He's like, I don't think I really have any. And then went on to tell me some of the most hilarious stuff ever. And I'm like, people just repress this stuff, and that you need to do it. Like, to get it out of your head, you can't have this stuff floating around, especially when you're on stage by yourself for an hour. You can't be like, remember that time that I tripped over and accidentally kicked someone in the face? Like, you need to get rid of it out of your head. So my apologies.
No, totally fine. But it got me thinking, because before I did stand up, I did sketch comedy and some other stuff.
Yeah.
So I did a show called Tres Miserables, where we did all the characters, where three of us played all the characters in Les Mis in 50 minutes, and it was a comedy. And
oh fuck, that sounds quite good actually. Why am I surprised by that sounding good? Sorry, that does sound good. That does sound good.
Sounds like it was.
I didn't expect this guy to be funny.
Somehow it was probably my most successful show.
Yeah, right.
Still with two of my friends, and one of them, Alice Tovey, who's a performer, and she's got comedy festival shows and stuff. She's an amazing singer.
Oh, nice.
Really, really amazing. And then me and my mate Lockie, who were also in it, we kind of, we were okay.
Yeah.
But I was like,
but
I love Les Mis. So
I love Les Mis,
and we all did.
well.
Yeah. Which is why we all did it. And I was like, that dream of like, imagine if I was Jean Valjean. And
who wouldn't want to be?
Exactly. But then I have manifested it by making this whole show. But then I'm like, but now I have to sing parts
of the most technically difficult songs to sing.
In the Who Am I?
Yeah.
24601.
Yeah, just banging high note. Yeah.
Which I'm like, why have I given myself this note to sing every night? So I think first few every now and then it'd be like, I'd be there going, I wonder if I'm going to hit that note tonight.
Yeah.
And sometimes I didn't.
Oh.
Or sometimes it just went a bit...
But comedy? Is it like...
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah. But then often we were actually quite... we're actually quite good.
Yeah.
But then there was that note, and there was another harmony which I would never get.
You don't want to give yourself Javert from a Russell Crowe version, where you...
Well, I think that's what Lockie, the other... I think in order of voices, it was Alice, then there was Daylight, then me, and then Lockie.
Poor Lockie.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's all right. But so he was the Javert. But I remember doing that at Adelaide Fringe, and it was great. Because Adelaide, in March, Adelaide basically comes to life.
Only time you should be in Adelaide is March. Yeah, no offense, Adelaide.
No offense to Adelaide, but Adelaideans know that.
Yeah, everyone does.
So for the show, we all were wearing would wear these black tights and these, open frilly and like puffy, like the Seinfeld puffy shirt.
Yeah.
You're familiar with that?
You've got such drama school vibes.
100%.
Yeah.
And so we'd walk around with that, and we'd be trying to flyer and get people to the show and all that, which is fine for 99% of the Adelaide Fringe. But for 3 or 4 days in March, I think they might have moved it now.
Yep.
They had the Clipsal 500, which is one of the biggest V8 supercar races, right? Which brings out maybe a different audience.
Possibly. And I used to live in Canberra, where they had, I think it was called Summer Knots, which is... very similar.
You would have got tens of people to that one in Canberra.
No, trust me, that's the people that bred like bunny rabbits down to that one. Trust me, and I don't want to presume from your story that some of the worst human beings in the world.
Yes, some of them, and especially I think just the juxtaposition of two incongruous sets of people, as in
maybe not so much the artistic crowd.
No, so I mean, and people that you're saying they're going along saying, either drag performers or me in tights or
of course,
or full cabaret makeup and people handing out flyers.
Absolutely.
But then you've got these massive crowds going past in in Holden polos and
with like
polo
half
shirts.
a sleeve missing.
Yeah.
4 cans of Jack Daniels and cola.
Yeah. So the two parts of that was that we'd be flying and people were like, you just get a few unsavory
comments. Yes.
So like, what? Yeah. Would you go to fly? Like, what the fuck are you? What the fuck are you doing? A lot of that. A lot
of slurs thrown around.
Yeah, actually, I just realized I'm like, actually, I can't say anything.
I know.
But, I wouldn't want to. But a lot of people just going around with open cans of Jack Daniels and Coke and whatnot, and. So it was kind of like you'd see the races are finished and the racists have started. And
there we go. Put that in the show.
Yeah. And the crowd kind of would start making their way over, and all the artists.
Yep.
Like it was like in I can't remember, in like a musical where everyone starts closing up all the doors as the villains come. Like, quick, get back into the tent.
Like when the French army comes out against the revolution.
That's it.
Les Mis. There we go.
Absolutely. Thank you. I knew you'd come through for me.
Yeah. Big Les Mis fan here.
Yeah. The other part of that was we were on at about 5:55 or something like that.
That's a tough spot as well for Adelaide Fringe. I did a show a couple of years ago, 6 p.m. It's a tough sell that time.
Yeah, it is. And we were in a tent.
Yep.
In the park, right near one of the turns of the race.
Oh, far out.
So for half of the first half, while we're trying to sing, you've got the loudest.
Yeah.
So it was a Les Mis with a side of.
V8.
Yeah. So
the show had a bit of everything for everyone.
It did.
Then.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It worked. It worked well in the barricade scenes. But that was about it.
If anyone could hear you.
Yeah. So that was like trying to keep a straight face while you're doing a scripted.
Yeah.
Because that's different to sound. We're not like, check that out. You kind of like want to keep moving.
I know, right? You can't just be like, here comes the Holden Commodore.
Yeah, exactly.
To save the day.
Well, we should. Anyway, it was a fun show. We actually we had, because we only have 3 actors, so you need to make the most of who's playing what character, and you got to be very efficient. We did have an entire character and costume devoted to the runaway cart.
Oh yeah.
So you look out, it's a runaway cart, and you come on in a cart costume, and
you're just standing there waiting for like a car to whiz past. Be like, it'll be a funny thing.
But the runaway cart had their own song as well in our version. So
that the runaway cart that crushes the person.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
So very minor, but we made it a bigger part.
No, that deserves that cart. Honestly, the catalyst to the entire film.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Musical.
Well, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm now just flowing into all these deep memories are coming out.
It happens every time. Everyone keeps bringing it up. Honestly, like we can link your PayPal at the end so people can pay for your therapy after this. I'll also link mine because I definitely need it too. Yeah. Like so many people just have repressed memories just like flash before their eyes during this podcast.
Well, may I continue?
Please
on
do.
One?
Yeah.
On the topic of Les Mis, because then that inspiration came from at high school. I did a version of Les Mis.
Oh, classic.
And I played on Enjolras, the leader of the revolution.
Yeah, nice.
Now, this was one of my first times ever being, a main part of singing in front of people.
Yeah.
So, I was really I was drinking a lot of water, trying to take care of my voice. And I'm also a nervous weir.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
I can absolutely relate. Yeah. My bowels do not enjoy nerves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So every night I remember I would time and I'd be running out the back of the stage to find a toilet, then running back on when my cues were. But there was just one night in particular where I think I had to do a song, and then I'd have to climb up the barricade, and I'd be up there for quite a bit. And I remember there, and I remember shaking at the top of the barricade. I was so desperate for a wee, and I'm shaking. I'm like, I think I'm gonna wee myself on the barricade here at the top of,
Oh my God.
And I started to sing one little line after. I think, maybe a little bit came out. I was wearing black pants, so that's okay. But then I had to still come up. I just had to go up to the front. Let others rise. And I'd come out and still get my "Let others rise and take our place." I really need to pee. I gotta go. So I kind of did pee myself on the barricade.
Wow. I mean, it's always horrible when
I'm not sure if that's... there's no punchline to that because I've just remembered that. I peed myself on the barricade.
I love that so much. I don't know if you listen to many of the other episodes, but I say this all the time as well, and I'm sure anybody that has been listening for a while has stopped listening if they don't like this sort of stuff. But I was like, my main goal for this podcast is finding someone that shit their pants during an audition or during a rehearsal or even on stage or something like that. So we've just come one step closer.
Yeah, I'm glad I could. Yeah, exactly. You'll get there eventually.
Thank you for that.
Peed myself in the barricade a bit. So that's
black pants are everyone's friend. So
absolutely.
Honestly, yeah. Anyone in costuming as well. People hate it dressing people in black as well. Like from a costuming standpoint, you're like, it's gonna save me accidentally getting a little bit of piss on these Cheetos.
But I do feel bad because I think then during the Eponine death scene, you probably heard the hand dryer in the bathroom in the theater going as I'm trying to dry my pants off.
Were you mic'd as well at the time?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I was. Yeah. I think someone should have turned it off while I'm off stage.
Somebody should have, but high school productions can be a little bit precarious as far as teching goes.
I've just remembered that. Yeah, I was mic'd. Oh, well.
If anyone has any video of this, I would love to see that. Please send that into the podcast. We'll pop that up on the socials. But thank you for sharing that. I genuinely love
not
that.
At all. I'm just trying to think of some more embarrassing stories that I have.
Oh, no, please. And again, I always say this to everyone as well. Share whatever you're comfortable with. But any bodily functions. I'm a child essentially. I'm a 34-year-old man. Mm-hmm. Man in quotation.
Oh, you don't look a day older than 30.
Fuck, I'll take that. I'll be honest with you. Oh man, do you work with kids ever?
I have, yeah. Yes. In my younger days, I worked in after school care.
Oh yeah, lovely.
And then one of my other, I guess, entertainment jobs. I've been a haunted house vampire.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
What house or what haunted house? I should say.
It was an event called Spooktober, which was
in St Kilda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I've seen that. Yeah, I've never been personally.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen those advertisements.
Yeah. So I was. This is a classic thing where they'd recruit, young wannabe actors.
Yep.
I done like a uni sketch show, and a mate of mine was like, it's paid, but it's on these weird, dodgy contracts where I feel like these are common in the acting industry, maybe, of like...
Oh, absolutely, yes.
They're half volunteer, but so you get a... it's almost like it's volunteer, but you get a per diem or something like that. So I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though, yeah.
So it's basically a way that industries can pay you below minimum wage.
Basically just a way for people to fuck you over.
Yeah.
Which is rife in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, because they're like, now technically we wouldn't be allowed to keep you in a dark room for 15 hours straight.
Yeah. But you've signed this
piece of paper. But you've signed this random piece of paper. It does mean, so you get a muesli bar every 2 hours, but that's it. So I have done that where I have to scare people for...
That's so good. That's so good.
And then later on I then emceed that event.
Oh, nice.
So then I was the vampire outside. I was still a vampire.
Yeah, but moving up in the vampire world.
Yeah.
I've also previously worked as a vampire. I've talked about this before as well. A theatre restaurant, which we're not going to name.
Oh, okay.
They're still active.
There's only about two.
Yeah, so. Only about one now. The other one closed down.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was just saying, asking if you'd work with kids because they're brutally honest. And I was working on this TV commercial with a kid once, and they're like, "Wow, you look about 50." And I was like, "Oh," I think at the time I was like maybe 30, and I was like, "No, I'm just 30." And they're like, "Oh. Why?" And I was like,
why?
Why what? And he's like, why'd you look like that? And I'm like, oh fuck, man.
That is absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why do you look like that? You're like, I didn't choose
What'd you answer?
I didn't choose this. And you're like, this is actually the best I could do today.
I've got makeup on. Yeah. You should see me without makeup on. Fuck. But it's always half and half, I find, with acting kids. So like the half that are forced into it, well, not forced, but like they're put into it by their parents. And like most of the time they don't really give a shit. They're just there to have fun.
Yeah.
And then the prima donna kids. It was the latter, the prima donna kids, which was, I don't know if they're trying to, like, if they're playing mind games with you or something like that, trying to upstage you, but yeah, far out.
Because I'm always interested by child actors who I'm like, when they're amazing, I'm like, wow, that is so amazing. And I hope that, I'm like, I hope that they're doing it because they've discovered they want to and all that. But then the other hand, you're like, are they gonna? Is there a momager in the background?
Yeah.
But anyway, so have you had a few?
I've met a couple of
many of those
momagers. I like that. I've never heard that before. Yeah. I want to say, not that any kids are going to be listening to this. Maybe some momagers.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of the kids.
And are you looking for a manager?
Fantastic.
I'll take a momager. I will.
Yeah. Oh yeah, actually, any momagers reach out to me. Yeah. We can work out some sort of deal. I'll sign a piece of paper and stand in a haunted house for 15 hours. Sure, fuck knows I could do with the work. But yeah, like there's a few prima donna kids. I will say that I've worked with before.
Yeah. Okay.
And they always think that they are better than you, which some of them might very well be.
Often they're right.
Yeah,
they've been in.
They're working more than I am. So
when their resume is, like,
so many bit parts and stuff, and I'm like, I've got a few student short films and a couple of bit parts have been cut out of the TV show.
Yeah. they're like, that's nice. So you weren't in any of Baz Luhrmann's? Oh, interesting.
No, me and Baz, we just had a chocolate milkshake last week. Yeah. I can pass on your. I'll see. He's probably busy.
He doesn't like.
He's a busy guy. Yeah. But I'm just gonna go and see Stevie. Steven Spielberg. Yeah. Might play one of the new Ewoks.
Spielsy. Yeah. Spielsy, I call him.
We're going for a tricycle ride. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, that completely derailed.
No, because then like similar thing. Working in the haunted house.
Yes.
And you get the kids that are too cool. They would come through. I'm like, okay, I'm a vampire. I've been wronged, but I've been alive for 494 years, and now it's my time. I'm thirsty for blood.
Yep.
But I'll just scare them, and then I'll let them go.
Yep.
They come in and they go, I'm not scared. I'm like, well, okay, fine. And then they'll just say stuff like, you're fat. You're like, oh, well, that's because I've been eating a lot of children. And they're like, no, it's not that. And then they go like, you're sweaty. I'm like, yes, I've been in this room for 15 hours.
Vampires don't sweat.
Like, well, I'm just a guy. I'm getting paid $10.
Just a vampire crying in the corner.
Yeah. I was like, you know what's scary? Getting old, grey hairs.
You know what's scary? Trying to live out your dreams and then ending up working as a vampire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the scariest thing. I'm like, this could be you.
Yeah. Stay in school, you little fuck. But yeah, they are brutal. I've done a little bit of mascot work as well for children, and they are brutal. Very much in the same thing. It was down at a zoo, an open air zoo in Melbourne, or around Melbourne anyway.
God, the things we do.
Yeah, I know, right? And I'm like, it was good and I enjoyed it. You mess around for the most part. Like it doesn't matter. But there are the kids, like you're saying, they're too cool. They're too cool. And like, you're not a real dinosaur. You're like, yeah, no shit. They died millions of years ago, you idiot.
Yeah, like you dumb.
Yeah, you think you're being smart? Yeah. You're ruining this other child's time.
Exactly.
And these other kids are coming up and trying to give you a hug, and you're also like, no, don't hug the dinosaur.
Oh God, don't hug me.
Yeah. Especially because like the dinosaur suit was one of those inflatable T-Rex suits, which every TikTok star had 3 years ago. Yeah, so you're always just in that. So they can kind of see your face anyway. So they're always just like, I can see him.
You're like, I know.
Yeah, and then other little kids they try and give you a hug around the waist, but like the waist is always like lower down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And like it's literally it's a constant worry or like line because exactly, and that's like same with like even when I worked in after school care. And, like kids are always like that, they want to sit on your lap, or they want you can't do that.
No, please don't. Please go away.
And something always like horrible, not horrible, as in like always seems to happen just as the parents would come to
right?
Like one kid, I remember one kid chipped her she went to jump on me and I wasn't like, she jumped from a chair and I turned around and there's a kid flying
kids, and
I tried to catch her and she kind of landed and just chipped her tooth. Like 1 second later, Mum walks in going, what happened? I'm like, she jumped at me.
She jumped. I didn't. Nothing.
Yeah, I know. She jumped. She wasn't pushed.
She was, I promise.
Yeah.
Child crying, bleeding on the floor.
Yeah. Another crazy kid put her own shoe in the toilet.
That kid's a comedian. I
had no idea how to explain that to the parents. I had no idea what to
It is amazing what goes through the head of a child sometimes. Not to get into like a child psychology podcast now. But you're like, that is like, on the surface, not a normal thing to do. But hearing about it now, I was like, fuck, that's actually hilarious.
That is funny.
Yeah.
But then, because then I was like, oh, did someone do this? She's like, no, she put it in there herself. And I'm, did you do that? Yes.
It's the confidence as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I was that confident with anything.
Yeah. And just,
you're like, you have to wear that. It's a toilet shoe now.
I know, the self-destruction. I'm like, just me handing her mum a plastic bag with a toilet water shoe in it. I'm like, I'm sorry, but she did it to herself.
Even saying that, she's like, she did it to herself.
Yeah.
She deserved it. And you're like, no, I mean,
not yet.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, we'll move away from him.
Sorry, we can
maybe not harming children or
we can
doing things to themselves.
Well, even back to embarrassing things this week.
Yes,
in my show, still parents harming children, but it's my mum and me. My mum
acceptable then.
Yeah, my mum's that's fine.
Yeah,
my mum who I love dearly.
That's on record now. You've heard that, yeah.
Actually, can we cut that out? No, I'm kidding.
No, edit it out. What do you actually want to say to your mother then?
So she has, and she comes along to the show, and she brings her friends and all that. And there's a few stories from my childhood and stuff. But and so it's such a difficult line to walk because mum almost heckles, but not in a mean way.
Okay.
I'm telling a story, and she's like live fact checking it. She goes, and I can hear it in the audience. She goes, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. And then I'm telling a real story. And there's a couple times she called out essentially the punchline.
Yep.
Not the punchline, but just the next thing I was going to say, which was just, there was these twins at a school I went to with just it's not even a very funny bit. It's just, I thought they had funny names and it leads to something else for callbacks later. But it's just like Declan, because I always thought the name Declan is just a horrible name. And just anyone with the name Declan is just like they're a trouble.
You're not set up well for life.
Yeah, you never think, oh, Declan's just got his PhD. It's more like, oh, Declan set fire to the
Declan just drank the mercury out of the thermometer. Yeah,
Yeah. So, and I'm like, and Declan had a twin.
Oh yeah,
and her name, Tegwin.
So I just made a really weird face, and I was like, "This is a podcast, so I should verbalize how I feel about that." Whoa.
Yeah, I just thought, and and it's just imagine coming up with a name as bad as Declan. I think, how do we top that? Tegwin. And
is Tegwin even a name? I mean, anything can be a name technically. I suppose,
I know. But, I'm like, I've thought about it quite a bit, but anyway, as I'm about to say that, my mum I say that in the show just for another reason, but I say, and her name, and mum goes Tegwin. I'm like. She just called that. I'm like, her name was Tegwin. My mum's here, obviously. And
that's funny as well because, well, first of all, it's heckling from a place of love.
I know,
which is such a hard heckle.
How do you deal with that?
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. But then also, so many comedians use that as like when somebody shouts out something horrible, like "Thanks, Dad."
Yeah.
"Thanks, Mom," and then it's be like, "No, my actual mom." No,
I know. Yeah, I know. Often, if I ever do it, it's actually my mum.
Yeah.
So if you ever come to my shows and I say "Thanks, Mum," it is because people ask me after, like, "Oh, was your mum actually there?" I was like, "Yeah, you mean the woman who was revealing all the telling the stories herself?"
There was fact checking in real time for me. Yes, that was my mother.
Yeah, she was chiming in a lot until I started talking about how she got the wooden spoon out when we were kids, and then she got silent after that.
You should open with that then, and then she can set the tone for the show with that. Yeah.
Anyway, I've just gone really back into harming kids, but
fuck, we'll move away from harming kids.
No, she'd only get the wooden spoon out if she could find it.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was
hiding it at any points.
Yeah, we did actually.
Oh, nice.
But mainly it was in the utensil drawer because you've got all those. Everyone's got those drawers.
Yeah. Oh, of course, the absolute nightmare of a drawer.
Yeah, it's got all it's got all the whisks and the potato mashers and those things those piping. You pipe the ricing and
not pipe. Yeah, whatever
that is. Yeah, things that. Yeah. Anyway, so by the time she found the wooden spoon, she'd forgotten what we'd done.
Yeah, nice.
So, or sometimes we'd preemptively hide it when we're being naughty as well.
It's so funny as well because I hear that so many stories from people. I'm not going to mention any names, but
Mom,
an
Dad.
acquaintance of mine was like, my mom always used to hit me with a wooden spoon, and then she hit me so hard one day it broke.
Yeah,
and I just never got hit with another wooden spoon.
Oh,
I was like,
that's good. Yeah.
Not only did they want to hit you so much with a wooden spoon, they're also too cheap to replace it with a wooden spoon. So I was like, you okay? Is your childhood all right? And they're like, yeah, is that not normal?
Oh yeah.
And you're like,
a lot of people. No, but a lot of people get. But we had our mum broke it on a on the table or something on a chair. She was like, come right in. Yeah. But
the instant regret as well. You're like, I've just played all my cards in my hands.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what to do now.
We're going to stab them now.
Move away from child.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. She had a backup.
All of this.
Are you? Oh, sorry.
No, I'm joking.
Because then often she had a backup.
Yep.
If she couldn't find the wooden spoon, which was this giant bright orange plastic spatula. Which was just so funny because it just didn't hurt at all because it was the surface area was too big for it to even get through the air.
For the drag, it was just a massive.
It didn't hurt. It actually felt good.
Oh, nice. Did you play up like it was hurting as well?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is so much worse. No, Mom. No.
Yeah.
Consistently buying more and more of them to hide around the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
smart. Yeah, there you go. But if your mum is listening as well,
yeah. Hey, Mum. She probably is. She's probably gonna. I'm surprised she hasn't walked through the door and to fact check that.
Well, I was actually saving this to the end, but here she is. No, I'm nowhere near that prepared for any podcast. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure I have more as well.
Yes, please do tell me more.
You're right. It is very cathartic, though. Isn't it
is. It's nice to get it all out there. I'm sometimes worried about how much I talk about myself and all my
I want to hear
worried past. Yeah, I've done a load of them as of late, obviously just on the podcast. I like people to try and feel like they can share it, so I always share my stories as well.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, I need to start doing more embarrassing things now. Not that I need to actively try, I'll do it regardless anyway.
No, well, that's why I'm like, I guess I'm doing them quite often, like just all these. Even again yesterday, I was filming a sketch yesterday.
Yeah.
And this other. And I feel like this other comedian asked me to be in it.
Yep.
And
are we going to name names? Ooh,
well, I mean, you'll probably see it come out. You probably. I don't have to name him. I'll
post this on the Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah. But just when you don't know, like I don't know him that well. He's like, do you want to be with a mutual friend of ours? Yeah, great. And I didn't have the car. I was like Ubered there. But I came from home.
Yep.
I get there and he goes, you might get a bit wet. This one. I'm like, like we might get a bit wet, or like we will get wet. And he's like,
those two quite different things as well.
And the whole premise of the sketch is like spit takes, and then you spray with. I'm like, if you'd told me, I just would have brought a change of clothes.
Yeah, it's that simple as well. I think sometimes
it was just a bit of. I'm like, this is so. I'm like, of course, I'm not going to say, nah, I'm out.
Yeah.
So of course I'm going to do it. I was at one point I was sprayed with the hose for about 40 seconds. So I was drenched. So you might get wet. Yeah, I think so.
You might catch pneumonia. Yeah. You're definitely getting wet. Yeah. I think sometimes people are like, I don't want to tell them about this, otherwise they won't turn up. So I'll just be like, no, I'll give them a little heads up when they get here. What did you do to get home?
Oh, I had to borrow my mate's shorts. And,
so awkward with that kind of stuff as well. Just give me a heads up. That's all. Yeah,
it is all because then he's like, here's some short. No, not even that because we're at my mutual friend's house. So he didn't even know. But then he gave me a pair of shorts. He's like, do you want do you want a pair of jocks too, or there's that? And I was like, I think that's the line.
I don't know if I feel comfortable with any of this situation anymore.
Yeah, so I drew the line at jocks. I was like, no, I'll suffer in my jocks.
I mean, yes, I'll definitely borrow yours, but I'm not going to wear them.
Yeah.
But I would like them.
Yeah, I'll sell them.
Yeah. Package them up in an airtight bag, please.
Gosh.
But that kind of stuff. And it's like, I've been caught out a couple of times with that kind of stuff as well. I don't know if you ever auditioned for TV commercials.
I have, once or twice.
Been wholly great experiences with never getting caught off guard with any really weird cooked stuff being asked of you, or are they consistently just a mess of you go in there, embarrass yourself for 5 minutes, leave and be like, I don't even know if they were casting a TV commercial. Is this a hidden camera show?
Yeah, I've only done, to be honest, I've only done like a couple, and both the ones maybe more than that, but the few that I'm thinking of, I go in, embarrass myself, and just never hear from them again.
Classic.
Or hear from them 4 years later.
Yeah.
Like so long later, like, hey, I've had this, hey Sam, we contacted you for an audition, and it's like literally 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We've got another one in 2 days' time, or like tomorrow.
That's always it, isn't it? Yeah. And it's such short notice. You're like, can you be at the studio in 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Here's the 12 pages of lines you need to learn, and I'm like, what? No. This
is one of the things that came up just this last few weeks during the comedy festival. I feel like for some reason everything when it rains, pours. So I've had all these lovely opportunities.
Yeah, great. And then this one as well.
Yeah, and this as well.
This is maybe not lovely, but yeah.
But of course, then my show started on Monday, and I had a wedding over the weekend.
Oh, far out.
And then I also on the Friday got contacted about an audition for something.
Oh, nice.
It was going to be on the Monday morning, and I had to learn a 3-page script and my entire comedy festival show.
Yeah.
And I was away for a wedding. I was like, wow, of course it's happening now.
Yeah. I think absolutely classic. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one I've had for an ad, again, I saw it about. I remember seeing this email. This one I was going to say this one I was younger and disorganized.
Yeah.
As you saw today, wrong place, wrong time.
Just when you were younger, then.
Yeah. So I remember seeing this email at like 10:30 at night or 11 at night, and they said, and they'd sent it earlier, but I just hadn't seen it. We've got an audition for you at 9 a.m. in Footscray, and I was living at my mum's very far from Footscray. And I saw that, and I was like, I just emailed back straight away. Yep, I'll be there.
Yeah.
They hadn't looked at the details or really the script, and I turned up. I did it, and it was okay.
Yep.
It was for like Devondale flavored milk, and I had to blow.
Oh.
It was like blow bubbles. Sorry, I shouldn't have stopped at blow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whatever gets you the job.
Yeah.
No judgment here, trust me.
But I remember being like, oh, look, that was okay. Then when I went home and I went and checked through the details more, then I saw the payment for that ad, what it was going to be if I got it. It was like 12, 13 grand or something like that.
It's crazy sometimes.
And they'd fly me to New Zealand and whatever.
Yeah,
and I was like, I should have put more than 20 minutes preparation to that.
I know. But then sometimes you do just put 20 minutes in and they come in and be like, I like that guy's style.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't give a shit. That's exactly what the character would do. But then sometimes you're like, well, yeah, okay, well, they never contacted me and I quite need the money.
Yeah.
So, Devondale, if you're listening, feel free to reach out to Sam, or if you want to sponsor the podcast as well, I'm always happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We could relaunch them. I think they took the milk's already gone off the market. So,
has it?
Yeah. So if you want to relaunch it.
Rebrand it. This can be the Devondale podcast. Won't be forgetting that. Yeah. I can just be the Devondale podcast. I'll do that as well.
Yeah.
But one of the TV, what you were saying before as well, one of the TV commercial castings that I went for, they tell you, like what you were saying, they give you a little bit of a brief and stuff like that, and you go in, and I went in for this one. I don't even remember what it was for, I'll be honest with you. Went in somewhat unprepared, and I feel like they never said this in the email as well, but I went in and they're like, okay, cool, can we just get you to sit on the couch? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And they're like, right, can you pop your top off? And I'm like, oh, what?
This feels like a different kind of...
I know. I was like, it was a place I'd been to loads of times before as well, and it's just the casualness, and I don't know about yourself, I get lulled into a false sense of security when someone just asks you casually to do something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'll take my clothes off, that's fine.
Yeah, if it's normal, if you think it's normal, then I guess I think it's normal.
Like there's the other people in the waiting room, like this is a real place. I've been here before. This is normal. So I just took my top off, and they're like, right, you're sitting in a bathtub. Yeah. Washing yourself with money. So I was just like washing my...
Was this in the script?
Yeah. But I was like, I can pretend to do that with my top on.
Yeah,
but then I was
true.
just washing myself with money, and then like, great, thank you. You do your little chat to camera and you go. And then I was just like, never heard back from them, obviously. And it's just when you leave those kind of rooms and you're like... I feel like you should give a heads up of that in the casting. Like, I'm sure it didn't say that. I rechecked it and stuff, and it's like you're sitting in a bathtub, and I'm like, did you need my top? I don't know.
It feels like you've just like walked in, been violated in some way, and then sent out. You're like, and I drove here.
I know.
I volunteered to come. I wanted to come.
I took my time out to come here, and I would have been fine. Like, I don't mind taking my clothes off for money.
Clearly, and it'd be nice if you put some more on for next podcast. But that's okay.
No, absolutely not. This is my podcast, my spare bedroom. But if you do feel uncomfortable, I can put on those drops that you have from that sketch if you want. But yeah, like I don't mind doing it. It's just I think getting caught off guard with it was what really got me.
I almost think that what is I don't know, a keystone of the out industry of entertainment, whatever, is just being a person who will just say yes in uncomfortable situations or willing to adapt to situations. Like, because like maybe a normal person walks in and goes, oh no, that's quite weird, I'm not going to do that. But in any situation, it's just like, hey, I want you to be a vampire. Okay, great.
Right, exactly.
I did another corporate thing where they're like, yeah, so we're going to get you to write this, and you'll be like a referee, and there'll be people who are dressed as, what were they, like onions or something like that. And you're
of course.
I was like, yeah, sure, of course I'll do that.
Like, you were refereeing onions.
It was onions or some kind of, I actually have forgotten this. It was a corporate thing for Bayer, which is a massive.
Bayer.
It's and that was their end of year thing of all these different companies within it. They do like pharmaceuticals, but they also do like
cool.
crops and
cool. It's one of the companies that run the world then.
Yeah, it was one of those ones.
Bayer, if you want to fucking sponsor this podcast, I'll take that.
If I'd got some more Bayer money, that would be great. You just say yes. I was the same people that hired me to be the vampire.
Yeah.
They hired me. They're like, hey, can you be a sailor / captain at this woman's 50th?
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like,
please continue.
Okay. And so I was in a sail. This does sound weird, doesn't it? But they're like, oh, we'll pay you. I was like, okay, great. And I did rock up, and the woman whose birthday it was one who kind of worked with this company, but didn't we didn't really, it's not like she was had an affinity with me at all.
Yeah.
When she rocked up for her surprise birthday, she goes, oh, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, I'm the surprise somehow. And then they'd done it a cross between a cruise and a safari, which didn't really quite make sense.
Isn't that just so I'm literally lost for words. This is so confusing.
Yeah, I had to rock up, go, hey, everyone, welcome to the cruise, and come on inside.
Cruise safari.
Well, I had you just get told to rock up and just do something.
Yeah.
And we just go, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to plan it. You've given me no instruction. Then I walk in and it's nautical theme, but then there's a lion and a zebra, and I'm like, you guys are just really fuck this whole theme up.
Yeah.
And then I did a bit of a spiel for or a few jokes for 5 minutes, and then the person who got me, she's like, oh, thanks, Sam. Yeah, you probably didn't have to do that bit.
Oh, I'm like, tell me beforehand.
I'm like, yeah, but you're paying me like a few $100s. I thought you'd want me to say something. But I
might literally just hear as like a mannequin then. Yeah. Is that it?
I was like, all right, well, I might go then.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, great. I was like, okay.
What? That's so bizarre.
Oh, man.
And we've spoken about
so many things like this.
There's so many things like this on the podcast before as well. It's the jobbing comedian, the jobbing actor. Everyone gets corporate, so they get those weird private event work and stuff like that. And you're like, during the time, you're like, this is awful. But then back in hindsight, you're like, I got paid a few $100 to essentially do nothing.
I know.
I think that was really good.
It's like we get paid a lot to do the thing we don't want to do, so that we can get paid nothing to do the things we want to do. Sometimes we get paid nothing to do the things we don't want to do. But there's that as well.
But yeah, some of that stuff's so bizarre. I'm not bagging out any of that corporate work or anything like that, but I'm just like, I think the people that book it need to spend an extra 5 minutes.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, please give us your money. They need to spend an extra 5 minutes to work out exactly what they are booking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Often I've found they book you.
Yep.
And then they tell you what they want you to do, which is different to...
Exactly, right? It's like booking a violinist and be like, hey, can you do a tap dance?
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when I worked in catering, I rocked up to an event, and they're like, and it was during the races.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, and you'll just have to put this jockey uniform on.
Yeah.
With these, and just with these very thin, cheap white jockey pants.
Oh.
Anyway, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I do a bit of work at a radio station. And for those listeners out there, a radio station is a lot like a podcast.
Yeah. Except you don't get to decide what you listen to on it.
Yeah, no.
And there's a lot more ads.
Yeah, and if it's like Triple M or one of those, it's basically In Excess, hunters and collectors broken up with ads every 35 seconds for Crim Safe or
exactly right.
National
Come
Tiles.
on down to National Tile.
Hello.
My favorite one of them is the country radio stations. Are like, hello, we've got some tractors for sale. Come on down. Oh, yep.
Just like
devoid of our personality.
Yeah, Barry's Tractors. If you want to contact, I'll be at the pub.
Barry's Tractors and Pest Control. We also have an ice cream van.
Yeah. And then the contact is always like, yeah, just come visit me at my place. And they give out just a full address in the country.
Just scream in the town square for Barry. I'll turn up.
Radio is just that, ads, and then broke up the traffic updates.
Yep, of course.
For areas you've never been to.
Or will never want to go to.
Yeah, because there's always a smash or a prang or a bingle.
Always.
In, I don't know, Craigie. Who's treating the drive out in Craigieburn? That's what I want to know.
The only people that are listening to radio.
Anyway, sorry. And the radio station was just doing these... they're doing outdoor broadcasts for the breakfast show.
Oh, wonderful. They always go well. Yeah.
For the breakfast show at different venues and pubs or whatever. And because I was employed there, they're like, oh, well, Sam, we might get you to MC.
Yep.
Because there's going to be a live crowd. So during the ads and the traffic and the...
Yeah, of course.
They're like, we'll get you to, warm the crowd up, MC, and do your... And they said, do your thing.
Yeah.
Is what they said. I was like, okay, do my thing. So I'll have to decide what to do. First of all, it's a tough gig anyway, because the breakfast race starts at 6 a.m. So, and it's always in the outer suburbs, which is great. Yeah. Like that's the core listenership. But I'm, getting up at 4 a.m. to drive an hour to a pub at 6 a.m. to start by 5:30, 6 a.m.
Nowhere around there's open at that time as well, so you can't even get like your morning coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe,
And I've done comedy as late as 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. before. But when you get to 5:30 a.m., that crowd doesn't... If you've just woken up, you're not really in the mood for a laugh.
No. Most people are Walking Dead at that point. Yeah.
So I still, I got gave it a go. I'm telling a few jokes and doing some bits as well. But then a lot of, give them a round of applause as we come in. Yeah, great. But still at 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., people are freezing, standing in the outdoor area of this pub.
Was this during winter as well?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, look, we'll get you a breakfast burrito, out of a bain-marie, and that was all they got.
Yeah, right.
And they got to stand there and look at these celebrities. Yeah, no, here they are. And
quotation marks.
And I love this place.
Yep.
Officially. And
okay. We'll edit this entire part out. Maybe then. No.
But I don't mind. Anyway, the fee wasn't great.
Yep.
Anyway, but...
Yeah, pay about radio. How dare you?
Yes, and then I was told... And then after that first one, then the director, the big boss of the station, who usually wouldn't look my way or talk to me.
Okay.
At that point. They're lovely, though.
They're definitely lovely.
To figure out who this is, but anyway, and this was fine. This was just their direction. Was then met with me the day before the next one, because I was doing a few of them.
Oh, okay.
And they go, maybe just for tomorrow morning. And this is so it's in 9 hours time. Maybe for tomorrow morning, just maybe we just leave the comedy.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, so all the jokes and stuff, we've got the on-air team to do.
Yeah.
Maybe if we just really need people clapping and cheering and, keeping the ball in the air and all that. I'm like, I understand keeping the ball in the air, but you need to be slightly entertaining as well. So you should be exhausted at the end. It's just been I'm like, I am exhausted then. I'm exhausted at the start. It's very early in the morning and I'm being paid, I think below minimum wage for this.
Oh, wow.
If you add up the hours, but and just the fact that I'm like, you've hired a comedian, and I'm like, that's what my stuff isn't. I do a bit of it, but of warming crowds up, and that's one of those things that we do outside of our comfort zones.
Yeah, of course.
But, I'm like, I went into this being like, I'm a comedian and I'll help out.
Yeah.
But, then being like, come on, you need to be the hype guy. Like, hey, everyone, welcome to the make some noise. Right. There's a lot of that. So I should have done that at the start.
Yeah.
But come on, guys, get you clapping. Who wants a $50 meat voucher? So that for about 3.5 hours.
That's exhausting.
From about 5:30 a.m. till 9:30, and because I had previously been on the promotion, the street team,
going around handing out extra large t-shirts and stuff,
and ice cold cans of Coke.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So they were also attending, and they would get paid from the moment they left the radio station to drive all the way out.
Yep.
And I kind of said, to be honest, if I was just here as a street teamer, at the end of the day, by the time I get back to the state, I get paid more because you're only paying me from 6 till 9.
I start cheering to when I stop cheering, yeah.
Well, then they were like, can you start at 5:30? I'm like, is the fee the same? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And I was like, I'm getting paid literally $10 less than if I was just driving the car out and back. So I said, look, if it's a little bit more, I can do it. And they were like, no, that's the fee.
Oh, far out.
Yeah. And I said, all right, well, I'm not doing it.
Fair enough. Jeez, that's so funny as well. Yeah. People are just like, do you want to work more for less money?
And then I think they tried a couple other people and they came back to me.
Came crawling back, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said no again.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Good on you, honestly.
So that's one of the first times I was like, you know what? No.
Well, this is such a strange thing
I still love
say.
That industry.
Yeah. Radio. Yeah. You're great there, radio, right?
Yeah. They're good. They're good. They're great.
Yeah.
When you're on top, it's great. So someone can put me right on top, amazing.
You give me that.
I'll forget all of you. Yeah. I'll forget all of you guys. Who are you?
I'll blow past you all and make you turn up early for less pay.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's such a funny thing when you get to that point in your career where you like comfortably say no to certain things. That's when I'm like, I feel pretty good about this.
Yeah.
Instead of saying yes to turning up to a student film, which doesn't pay you any money, which is filming like an hour outside of Melbourne, and they're like, yeah, we got you some rice cakes because that's all we could afford for lunch. And I'm
great.
Like,
thanks.
Oh, great. When's this going to be released? They're like, I don't know if it's going to be released at all. And you're like,
exactly.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. If you're not even getting, I know. So and that's the other hard thing because I feel like a lot of the industry is, you got to say yes. Well,
I know.
You got to say yes to everything, but then you've got to learn to say no.
Oh, exactly. That's the problem, though, because you get so used to saying, especially when you're starting out, you say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've done it with stand-up gigs as well, where you're essentially playing in like the back end of a broom closet in a pub to two people that are just asleep at the bar. Yeah. But you need to build up your hours, and you need to, like, whatever it is, like, get your confidence and all that kind of stuff. But then when you get to a certain level, you'll be like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a few times where it's like, oh, am I, because I think when I was starting out and, you'd sign up for an open mic and maybe you sign up at 7 p.m. and 11:15 rolls around and they're like, all right, you're up. And you look at who's left and it's just 3 other comedians who are also waiting for their first time.
As well.
Yeah. So, but then again, exactly. That's how you get your flying hours and all.
Yeah, exactly. But then you really need to find that sort of point in your career or your life where you're like, I need to move on from this. Otherwise, I'm just going to be this person who's like 20 years into it, still doing this kind of stuff and being like, fuck, now I'm the go-to guy to do free work for people in the worst comedy space ever.
Yeah. And I'm the guy that does the vampire.
Yeah.
The vampire costume.
I'll dress up as a vampire one more time, okay, and that's it, I promise. I'll MC it. Yes, all right. I don't mind starting at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Again,
if you want me to turn up at 4 a.m., dress as a vampire and my mum's in the audience, that I'll be there.
But final time, I promise, right? After this, you have to pay me, okay? Yes, I can drive some of the other people out to it as well, I suppose. Fine, okay, whatever. But yeah, it's nice when you can start moving beyond that as well. And then you get, like, every now and again, you get a fancy gig and you're like, oh, this is how the top 1% in the industry live. Very nice.
Yeah, well, even like during comedy festival now, I'm like, oh, like it's like the grand final. I'm like, oh, cool. Like this is where people have come to see me do the actual thing that I want to do.
The best of your best, and it's like, like you were saying, the grand final. Yeah,
because sometimes you do these other little gigs and you feel like I do a bit of other crowd warm up for a TV show. And so it's always funny when you're trying to do comedy or, talk to people, engage an audience. Yeah. They're not there to see you.
No.
And not only that, they're there to see people who are literally standing behind you.
Like genuinely.
So you've got...
in eyesight sometimes,
So whether, like Hamish and Andy and whoever else, and they're amazing. And that's why people come to see them. Of course, they're lovely people. But then when I'm saying, hey, everyone listen to me, and then right behind me, in real life, people are like... But Hamish and Andy having a conversation right behind you, and they're always fun, and they are always funny. So I'm like, I agree. Why would you want to listen to me? But having said that,
please do listen to me. Yeah.
So
it's a tough one as well. And do you want to explain kind of what warm up is for TV shows as well?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So so in any TV show,
any live filming of there's an audience there essentially.
Yeah, you always have most of the time you have an in-studio audience, and basically, even though it's not always live, but basically the networks want the entire audience to be ready and around, ready to laugh, warmed up. So often, you'll always have a maybe comedian or sometimes it's just a member of staff. You know.
Oh, really? Oh.
Sometimes they've had production staff who are just they're not comedians by trade, but people can talk.
Yeah, that always helps.
we'll get it. So I'll get out there and go, hey, everyone, welcome to the show. Basically, this is how it's going to work, and do this and that.
Yep.
When they come out, make sure we give them a big cheer, and every time we go to an ad break, you have to teach people how to.
It's so funny, isn't
clap
it?
and laugh.
And this has been around for ever since like sitcom days as well. Like you see people, like even some of the behind the scenes tapings of like Friends are like, who wants a t-shirt? Because you've been sitting here for 12 hours whilst people are trying to work out the perfect like way of saying a line. So they're trying to like excite people and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. So I'm giving out lollies and vouchers.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm
It's such
telling
a funny
jokes
thing, isn't it?
And then just starting conversations with, where have you come from and what's happening here? And and then between every ad break, I mean, we don't actually throw to the ads, but then
just
goes
sitting there for 4 minutes in silence, being like, right,
hello,
we'll just wait for Dave and Dale to get through this.
But so essentially that's what I'd do. So
that's awesome.
Every time it goes to an ad break, I'd jump out and talk to everyone. It's always interesting when you're not often you're doing stand up, and I'm not doing stand up, and Dave Hughes is standing behind me, just watching,
silently judging you. Like he likes to judge a lot of things.
I'm
sorry, Dave Hughes, I'm joking.
He loses it.
But, well, we're coming somewhat towards the end, I reckon. Do we have any other final stories that we wish to share?
I'm sorry if I haven't. I feel like I've just been sharing all these random small stories, but
I say this all the time. It's great whenever people come in and we just get stuck on tangents or whatever as well. Like obviously this podcast is to embarrass my guests as much as humanly possible, so I have loads of ammunition to blackmail them in the future. I've got I feel like most of mine about there's Mum again in my audience of a few years ago, which Mum's getting a fair bit. I play a bit of guitar in my live show as well, so I do a bit of music and stuff. But I'm not very good at guitar. I feel like even though I talked my singing down before, I'm better at singing than I am at guitar. Especially the first time I used it, I didn't even know how to tune it properly. Oh, that sounded great. And I didn't have a guitar stand, so my guitar would fall over in the middle of my show. Oh, that's never. It was so bad. It was so bad. It would happen all the time. And then one time I went to go and play it for the first time during the show, and I'd probably dropped it 5 times already. Fuck. And I went to strum it, and it was the most out of tune thing I've ever heard in my life. But I didn't know I could get an app. There's an app for tuning. Yeah, those little or anything. I didn't have. And I was like, this is going to take me ages to tune because I just used to do it by ear. And then did you tune it by ear on stage? Well, I went to start, but it was so out. Yeah. I was like, and my mum was in the audience, and mum can play guitar. This is actually so horrifying. I then had to I was like, Mum, can you? I was like, okay, while I continue the show, I'm going to get my mum to tune the guitar. That is adorable, Sam. It is. It's very embarrassing. It's pretty embarrassing. Yeah. It's very much the oh, Mum, can you come up and fix this, please? This is a number of years ago. Okay. Yeah. Last year. No, it was last night. But just it's very embarrassing to get my mum to do it. And no, I thought she might go to the back of the room or do it on stage, or she'd do it fast. No, she did it just in her seat, but she was doing it really loudly and quiet. And I just had this vision of me looking into the audience, but I can see my mum holding up a guitar. Oh, did you continue trying to do your set at this point as well? Yeah. Does that go well? Probably not. I'm like, if I can't tune a guitar, I shouldn't have been doing it in front of people. No, that's very fair as well. I think that's the level. But also, guitar stands. $12 maybe. Yeah, as well. So got one. Hindsight, got one now. It's great, isn't it? Yeah. It's funny the way you have to learn some of the things like this. Sometimes you're looking back at it, you're like, why didn't I just fucking do that? It's so much easier than the mad way that I was doing it. But I'm like, what? You learn. Yeah. Did I not think that? One of those days during the day, I could have gone and bought a guitar stand. I know, especially so many of the comedy spaces are very close to a lot of shops. yes, they are. Yeah, but also
Also, I think probably just didn't have any money at that point.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially,
Again,
you don't, and you don't get any money from ticket sales until after the season's over.
Yeah.
So often this is my poorest time of year.
Yeah, it's so funny, isn't it? So many people put so much money into their shows, and then they're like selling out, and then they're like, "Oh, cool! Do you want to go for a dinner?" And they're like, "No, I need to wait until 2 months' time when I get paid." Yeah, you're like, "Oh, okay, I can buy it if you want."
Yeah, it's all great.
The irony of it, it's like going, I have to buy them dinner, and then they're going to like a 200-seater that's sold out. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, well, that's how it happens.
Yeah. So if you see Sam, just
buy
him $10. Yeah. If you're at his shows tonight, tomorrow night, or Sunday, just throw coins. Would you take coins? Yeah, coins, notes, guitar stands at him.
A Parma.
Yeah. A full Parma as well.
If you bring in a full Parma and throw it to me like a frisbee, I would love that.
He'll catch it in his mouth as well. Yeah. That's his closing act. Oh, fuck. I not meant to say that. Sorry. I'm sorry. Right. We'll edit that part.
It'll still be impressive.
Yeah, no, it will be. So everyone come loaded with Parmas.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for...
No, my absolute pleasure. And again, thank you for firstly turning up. No, I'm joking.
Eventually.
And taking time out. I always seem to get people during their runs of their busiest time of the year. Like I'll get everybody from Fringe up in Adelaide or down in Adelaide, wherever Adelaide is, and they're all losing their mind, and then I'll get comedians on during Comedy Fest. No, I'm like, I like to get people at their worst.
Yeah,
like, it's a real gotcha journalism. I want you to say all the things you're going to regret later. No, but you've been absolutely fantastic, and I really do appreciate having you on.
Thank you so much for having me on. If I've waffled on too much, apologies to the listeners.
I think that's what podcasts are, aren't they?
True,
yeah. So we waffle on as much as you want. But you've got Sam but different.
Yeah, at the Comedy Festival. So I've got 3 more nights now: Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. And
Campari House, is it in the city on Hardware Lane?
That's right.
Yeah, beautiful little venue as well. That's real great.
Great rooftop bar, lots of awesome restaurants around. Piccolina ice cream right near there as well.
Yeah, a few Parma shops as well if you want to swing by before the show. What time's it on at?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Oh, perfect timing as well.
Absolutely.
So not only can you get a little bit of a feed beforehand, you can go to one of Sam's shows, you can head out afterwards, go and see some more shows. Yeah. If they're worthwhile, I don't know. No, I'm joking.
They are.
See some other ones.
There's some really great ones out there. I'm going to post a list of recommendations to social media and stuff. And
perfect segue into social media as well. So what are you on social media?
Yes, at Sam Garlepp on Instagram.
Garlepp.
You've got, look at that.
Oh, bloody memorized
research.
You're not going to hear this, but I fucked up the intro to this show, so I had to restart this, but I'm on it now. I'm woken up. I'm alive.
That's it. And I do, and then I do a few online videos with either Jack Post and Radio Mike's and friends of mine.
Nice.
Another podcast called Harry Potter and the Boys.
Yeah, some fanfic.
It's a fan fiction. And so I got my finger in a lot of pies. And I wish I hadn't said that.
No, uncomfortably made eye contact when you said that as well, I'll be honest with you. Not editing that part out, though. But check out Sam for all of that. Yeah. As always, you can find the podcast across most of the social media platforms at Won't Be Forgetting That Pod, and myself at Seb Muirhead, Muirhead. We do have a little bit of merch from Redbubble now as well, so if you want to pick up any of that, it genuinely does really help the podcast actually run, I'll be honest with you. And if you did enjoy this episode, please do rate it 5 stars, review it, hell, subscribe, why not? And if you didn't, get out of here.
Get out. Yeah.
I'm joking, you better have though.
Yeah. And Seb has told me he only accepts 5 stars.
Only 5 stars, and I will accept a Parma or $10 if you see me in the street as well. Preferably a Parma, I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty hungry.
All right, well,
beautiful.
I better get out here. I think I've got to call my mum.
No, she's here now. All right, beautiful. Thank you, Sam.
No worries. Thanks,
Cheers.
Seb.